into my NFL Week 6 recap, but first, Week 6 preview. But first, I'm going to recap Week 5 Monday and Tuesday Night Football. Starting with Monday Night Football, the Chargers were at the Saints. Justin Herbert was obviously the story of this game. The most popular losing quarterback right now, I guess, in the NFL, played a really good game. And I'd heard so much about some of the risky shots that he was taking, but kind of reminds me of Josh Allen last year. Everybody was talking about, I can't believe he's taking these chances. But again, take that risk, go for it. Don't play scared. I think that he's going to be just fine for this franchise going forward, and I'm excited then for next year for him, right? Similar to Josh Allen, kind of emerging and making that second year step. The defense also obviously stood out. They played strong against Kansas City. They played strong against Tampa Bay. This game was no different. It looks like they're not missing a step without Derwin James, even though I wish he was still on that field. I really wish I would have seen him this year. But Nasir Adderley stepping up huge, getting a pick in this game, his first NFL pick. So they're humming right along. And I think Shane Steichen, I believe that's his name. They said his name so much on the broadcast. Of course, I forget the pronunciation, but I'm sure we're going to be hearing about him when some more head coaching vacancies start to open up, because people love them a 30-something offensive mind. As for the Saints, obviously Drew Brees was the story of this game and how he is very clearly not the same Drew Brees. I am so curious if we do see Jameis Winston maybe in the game, even if it is just I think most people at this point are ready to see Jameis. But even if it is just for a few weeks to kind of give Drew Brees some rest if they plan on making a playoff run, just something to think about. I guess that is a lot mentally on both of these quarterbacks to kind of change the offense. And can you just play a game like that and then say, all right, Drew Brees is our quarterback down the stretch? I think there's a lot more that goes into it. But just a thought, and Emmanuel Sanders, finally beginning to emerge in this offense. I know they said on the broadcast that he kind of needed to learn the offense some, so that was exciting. They're clearly missing Michael Thomas, but it was nice to see him step up so that when him and Michael Thomas are back on the field together, maybe that chemistry will be a nice little wide receiver 1 and 2 combination. The defensive backfield there and the communication issues that they again were talking about on the broadcast. This team's not going very far if they don't get that together. They definitely have to work on it. Obviously, Marshawn Lattimore kind of saving it at the end there with that game-saving play, but overall, they have to play better. And for the Tuesday Night Football matchup, the unusual Tuesday Night Football matchup, we saw the Bills taking on the Titans in Tennessee. Josh Allen had a few good plays, and we saw some good things under pressure. Obviously, overall, not a great game, but I'm not just going to write him off because of one bad game. I do think that this Titans defense showed him some more advanced looks than he's used to, and they kind of played with the mental side of that quarterback game that comes with age and time and seeing more of the game. So that just makes me think this team that we were so confident in having a run at the AFC East, I'm nervous for Bill Belichick, who's probably, just licking his chops, chomping at the bit to get to this guy, because if you can't handle this Vrabel Titans defense, I'm so worried about what Belichick is going to throw. Even Brian Flores down there in Miami. Speaking of Brian Flores, as we talk about, I feel like it's going to be a storyline for these next few seasons. Who will end up the most successful Belichick disciple? Because right now it looks like Mike Vrabel and Brian Flores are in the running for that. Obviously, Vrabel has had more success so far, but Flores looks like he's going to start having success in Miami. Time will tell, but I'm very curious what the answer to that question is going to end up being long term. I'm also shocked at the amount of people that thought this Titans team last year was a fluke, because I definitely had confidence in them and in Ryan Tannehill in this system being able to run things back. They weren't so impressive to me, but something about it seemed legit. And so it's nice to see that they still are playing to that championship standard. Derrick Henry, if my assignment was to block Derrick Henry, I just wouldn't. I would actually miss my assignment. I would get yelled at by my defensive coordinator. I would not block him. Just throwing that out there. All right, I am breaking down 4 games that I'm excited to see this week. we're starting Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Obviously, the implications for the AFC North here are huge. I think that Cleveland wins this game. I think they proved to us that they have taken the next step actually and officially. For everybody that doesn't believe that they have, I think they take this game. It is going to be so good, though. So much of the postseason, I think, is going to get decided essentially in this big moment. Not decided, okay, that's an exaggeration, that's a stretch, but I think this is going to be a huge game to be able to see how legit Cleveland is, and I think they're legit. I think they're going to take the next game. I'm looking forward to the Chicago Bears head to Carolina to take on Matt Rule's Panthers. I think that Chicago wins this game, but I think it's a potential trap game. So I'm keeping my eye on this one. I wouldn't be shocked if I saw Carolina taking it. More of the implications lie on the Chicago side because everybody's trying to call their 4-1 illegitimate. So I think that if they win this game, I don't think it's going to make people more solid in their play. But if they lose it, everybody's going to be quick to call them frauds. So this is going to be a huge game for them to be able to step up and show up. Especially with Carolina playing so well without Christian McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson looking like such a great receiver out there. Everybody is there. That's all the buzz. Those are all the storylines lately. But less of this lies in Carolina and more of it is eyes on Chicago. Do you guys kind of fall this week? Next up, we've got Green Bay heading to Tampa Bay. These two quarterbacks, and Rodgers and Brady, that we have been talking about forever. They're two of the OGs still in the league. I think Green Bay wins this. I have no doubt that a rested Aaron Rodgers with Devontae Adams back, I think, maybe, potentially, probably. I'm pretty sure he'll be back after their bye week. I think they're going to be well rested. I think they're going to run right through this game because this is the year of Aaron Rodgers' revenge. I'm interested to see how well Tom Brady gets this Bucs offense back going, though, because they just looked messy versus Chicago. So eyes on them here. I don't know how far they're getting into the postseason. I don't know if they're making it to or even past wild card weekend. So I'll have my eyes on that. And the final game I'm excited about, Kansas City heading to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Both of these top guys in the AFC coming off of losses. So it'll be a big game for either of them to play up to. I think that this is going to be one of those games that for seasons to come, we might be talking about, right? Every time the Chiefs and the Ravens now meet up, we're constantly going to be talking about this is Lamar Jackson's record against Pat Mahomes' Chiefs. I think we might start to build that narrative now that Josh Allen is starting to prove himself in the league as a good quarterback. He's not there yet. He's not, but he's playing well. And I think this is going to be that storyline of two AFC competitors that we're constantly going to be comparing for years to come. That narrative kind of begins now, right? This is kind of when you start writing that history of, will this just be that team we keep tripping over kind of deal. I think that Kansas City gets back on track and fixes things, but we'll see. I have no idea what that Kansas City defense and how they're going to maybe take some of that film from Tennessee and maybe combat Josh Allen's play. All of those questions here. I'm very interested in this matchup. I think it's going to be a really, really fun Monday night game. That is all I've got for you guys this week. The rest of my picks are right here. A couple other games I'm intrigued by. Jacksonville at Detroit. I think this could be, it could have implications for Matt Patricia's future in Detroit, so I'm kind of keeping an eye on that one. And if Minshew Mania is actually coming to an end, which would make me really sad. So we'll see for both of those teams. And then Houston taking on Tennessee. I'm very curious if Houston is as bad as their record shows, or if they're now going to start being competitive with Bill O'Brien gone. We'll get some answers to those questions. Those are the games I've got an eye on this week. Let me know if you have any different favorites, if you have different opinions, if you have the same opinions. Like, comment, and subscribe. I will talk to you guys so soon.